Okay. Who let her out of the house? Who let her out of the house? Outside, wow. Feels like it's been a while, huh? I wanted to have a little bit more of a down-to-earth session today. You know, I filmed a video a week ago, but after recording for about 2 hours, I go back and I start editing the footage. The audio, trash. Oh my god, trash. But it's such a shame. It was a unique video idea, and you can never recreate something like that. Let me know if you want to see that, even though the audio, well, it's just so loud, and it I don't know how to describe it. Let me just insert a video here of what it sounds like. I'm a one-girl team, okay? I'm running the ship around here. I am the worst with technology and computers and things. You think I know what I'm doing? No, I don't. So every video something is wrong. I'm so sorry. But all that to say is it's been 8 days since the last time I posted, and you know, obviously I like to post about once a week. So we're past due. There's pieces of poop all around me. Get away. I hope I'm not sitting in one. I could have done something more exciting today, but to be honest with you, I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Wow, I'm really surrounded by goose poop. It's really everywhere. Well, you know, it's keeping me humble. It's keeping me grounded and humble. So I went to the coffee shop down the road. I specifically asked for a golden milk, which is turmeric, right? Okay, it's just a little fancy way of saying it, I think. A steamer, which is where there's no coffee, no espresso, no caffeine in it. It's just like milk and however the hell they make the turmeric, you know what I mean. So I got a medium of that. Come to find out, they gave me the latte, meaning there's probably about 2 shots of espresso in here. And I purposefully got it without because, knowing myself, that's not gonna do me good, okay? It's not gonna do good things for me, especially in my already, what's the word? Compromised state of mind these days. So, fuck it. You know what? Fuck it. Everything happens for a reason. You have to go with the flow. Maybe this is what I need. Still tastes good. I don't have anything against coffee. I love the taste of coffee, but what it does to me is makes my life a little bit difficult. Outrageous oatmeal raisin cookie with walnuts. Sounds pretty good to me. It's coming around. It's coming around. The first taste didn't capture me, but I could see myself getting into this now. I've been kind of you know, the weather is getting cooler. I've been kind of, I go through, I'm really bad at talking about my feelings. I'm really bad at it. Every time I try and kind of describe what I'm going through, I just can't think of the words. I guess I'm trying to get better at that. I just think maybe I've been going through a little bit of a tougher time, and it's always been this way. You know, I always go through phases and cycles of being extremely anxious and then being, okay, closer to, well, I don't actually know if it's normal, but then maybe I'll go through a little phase of depression, which feels closer to what I'm going through right now. So it's nice to be outside, I guess. It's just been kind of a lot of nothing. Like, I just don't feel like doing anything. I think a lot of people go through that. I'm sure a lot of people watching this have also gone through that. I'm listening to myself talking about this right now, and it's just really strange. It's really weird to hear myself speaking these words. But I guess making myself come outside today and film a video is my way of trying to be productive and get some vitamin D. Get some vitamin D, because last time I checked my vitamin D levels, they were extremely below par. Extremely. A little bit concerning. So I've been taking some vitamin D supplements, but can't get much better than the actual thing, can it? Yeah, I didn't really have so much of a plan for this. I just set up, got my freaking coffee, got my cookie, sat down, and hoped that something would come out. I think another thing that's been kind of having me feel a bit down these days, well, I guess for the past year, I don't even know how to really say this in a concise way, because I feel like I've lived so many lives up to this point, and now I'm living another life, but it's a bit different than it has been. I was in high school, right? Coronavirus struck in my senior year. I wanted to be a circus performer because that's what I was really focusing on at that point. I always assumed that I would go to university because, that was the logical next thing. My high school, everybody is pushing, go to university. It's always high school, university, get a job, right? So COVID hits in my senior year, and I ended up only applying to one college that was my state school, so Illinois State University. The reason I applied there being they had a circus, like an on-campus circus there. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm going there so I can join their circus. After I go to university, I'm going to go to professional circus school. Yeah, that was just what it was. But then, it's COVID, and I go on campus approximately 2 weeks. Yep, I moved on campus for 2 weeks. Horrible time. There wasn't much going on because it was peak COVID. This is 2020, the end of 2020. I moved back home, and I finished out the semester online because at that point they were giving the option of either going in person and doing online classes in your dorm, which it was like, okay, why the fuck are we? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Or you can just stay home wherever you are and take your classes online. So I went on campus for 2 weeks, and then I moved home. And that semester, I was like, what the fuck am I doing? I was an elementary education major. Which, that's sweet. Like, I wouldn't mind being an elementary school teacher, but that's just not for me. It's just not, like, can we really sit here and imagine me as an elementary school teacher? So I'm at home, I'm taking all these classes, my gen eds, fucking biology. I don't even remember. I literally do not remember. Just sitting at the dining room table taking these classes, I'm like, what the hell are we doing here? I end up dropping out after one semester. 2 weeks on campus. Now, let me just do a side story here for a second. We had a great cheating scandal at my college. So basically my biology final, right? It's all online. Somebody had sent the answers to the final in this huge group chat we had, right? Of course, the classic story. This is before ChatGPT. This is before AI. We did it the classic way. Somebody is so kind as to do their due diligence and then send the answers out to the group in mass. I guess me, along with so many of my other coworkers in that class, used that to our advantage and put it in. I mean, you change it up a tiny bit in the typed out, what is that called? The answers that you type out, it's not multiple choice. This is my last final. After this, I'm gone. Like, I am out of the school. But before I can exit, we all get an email from a lawyer, an attorney. They're like, there's been this huge cheating case for this biology class. We need you to tell us who sent the answers out. This is not appropriate, all this stuff. And they're trying to figure out who sent these answers out. Now, you can call me many things, but I am not a snitch, okay? I'm not a snitch. They're asking people to get on a Zoom call with this lawyer, right? Honestly, this is the end of the story. Either I ignored the email or I flat out refused and then dropped out of school. And maybe they think that they pushed me over the edge because of this case. Anyway, that was a lot of build-up for a very underwhelming ending. I'm sorry about that. I wonder how that ended. I hope that person didn't get caught because they did me a big favor that day. But I don't condone cheating. No, I don't condone it. The only reason I could do it is because I was dropping out and I wasn't, if you want to become a friggin' biologist, don't cheat, okay? Because it's for your field. This is what I sound like giving advice. Okay. All that to say, it was a freshman gen ed biology class, so I think that it was okay in that circumstance. In other circumstances, guys, do the work for yourself. The brain is becoming underused and it is becoming weaker because of the use of AI and cheating and not doing critical thinking for yourself. So I implore you all to do the work. Let's get back to the original course. Yes, so after one semester I drop out and I'm like, why the hell did I go to university when I just want to be a circus performer? There is actually no sense. It makes no sense for me to go to university and do all that for a undergraduate degree a bachelor's degree and something I'm not even gonna use. When you're a circus performer, all they care about is skill. You don't need a bachelor's degree to perform on stage and do freaking awesome tricks, okay? So I'm at home and I'm basically training. I'm training every day, getting these video auditions in for these schools. I only audition for ones in the United States, although we'll get to this later. In Europe, circus schools are a lot bigger of a deal. It's a bigger thing. I auditioned for 2 schools and I did end up getting into them both. So then I moved to Vermont for 2 years. Full-time circus school there. I make so many wonderful friends from all around the US. And then during that second year, I wanted something bigger, I suppose, different view on life. So here I go. I end up auditioning for a bunch of schools across Europe, and I end up traveling there for in-person auditions, which was a very awesome experience. I did experience rejection, and I did experience a lot of rejection actually that year. I experienced rejection from every single school that I applied to. Every single school, and I think it's a big reason. Okay, a part of it, of course, is that my skill level maybe was not up to par of the other auditioners that year. I accept that, okay? I accept that. But another part of it is also because European circus is so different from everything I grew up knowing. When I was in youth circus, when I was in professional circus school in Vermont, it was just like a whole other ballpark that I had not known anything about. So all year passes, and because this program I'm in Vermont is 3 years long, and I'm just finishing up my second year. All I've received is rejection so far, but I know that I want to go to Europe, and I know I want to train in contemporary circus instead of traditional circus, because contemporary circus is the big thing in Europe, right? And I was really into that. There's this one school that I really wanted to get into. I traveled to the Netherlands just for the audition. It was a week long. Oh my god, that audition. I actually had my most embarrassing performance ever at that audition, so no wonder they rejected me, to be honest with you. I have a video of it that they sent me a year later, and I refuse to watch this video. Refuse, because let me tell you, so it's a full week audition, right? Every day there's a different thing that they're assessing. Acrobatics one day, flexibility another day, strength, theater, dance, juggling, manipulation skills, like music. There was a music audition. Genuinely every single thing they're testing you on. And then on one of the days there is a big performance, right? Well, performance, it's like the day where, because everybody is supposed to be incredible in every area, right? However, you have your main discipline. Mine personally is trapeze, but you know, somebody's might be juggling, somebody's might be hand balancing, etc., etc. So on this day you perform your act in your main discipline in front of everybody, all of the teachers at the school, the panel of judges, every single other auditioner, every alumni of the school, every student of the school who wants to watch you. It's a big audience, and these are all people who you're competing against to get into the school, right? So wow, needless to say, the pressure is on, because this performance is going to determine if you get into the school or not, right? It is a big part of it. So yeah, me as somebody with high anxiety already, you can probably tell the state of mind that I was in. You know, but it was worth it, because this was my dream, okay? This was my dream school. I wanted in. Trapeze. There's different types of trapeze. There's flying trapeze, swinging trapeze, static trapeze, dance trapeze, Washington trapeze, etc., etc. My specialty is dance trapeze, which means it spins, right? With this kind of trapeze, A lot of times in an act there's going to be pulls, which means somebody is behind the curtain or backstage pulling the trapeze up and down, because at different heights you're able to do different skills. The higher it is, you can do swinging skills, a lot of dynamics. When it's low to the ground, you can do more manipulation of the trapeze and spinning and unique, groundwork. So in my act I had pulls, but the thing is, when you have pulls, you want somebody pulling for you that knows your pulls, right? You want somebody who knows your cues, knows when to pull you up and put you down, because when they get the cue wrong, you have to do a skill that might be high up here, but if it's already down here, what the fuck do you do then? So you can imagine where this is going. I had a friend in my audition group. Well, I had just met her that Monday, actually, so she was a new friend. I had asked her if she could do my pulls for me. The day of the audition, I give her a sticky note, which details every cue I have and where that cue, the height should change. Like, okay, when I do this skill and you hear this in the music, put it to this height. I'm hoping for the best. This school gave us no time to warm up on our apparatus or warm up any of our skills the entire week or before the show. So I'm also touching my trapeze for the first time since I've traveled from America the week before. Also, every aerial, which is trapeze, auxiliary, hangs from a point and that is in the ceiling. And every point in every place is different. Some of them are bouncier, some of them don't move when you hang on them. Depending on how bouncy or not a point is, things are going to feel different. So if you're doing dynamic skills and you're swinging, if it's a bouncier point, that swing is going to feel different. There's going to be different timings on every skill you do than if it was the point you were training on back at home. As you can see, there are many, many intricacies. I enter stage. Well, let's just say from that point on, I blacked out. I don't remember much. I remember the beginning of the act because that's before everything got stressful. The beginning of the act went swimmingly. I got laughs, I got smiles, cheers. Then, at one point, it all starts to go south. No hate to this girl who was helping me with my pulls because she didn't know. We weren't allowed time to work it out together. I place none of this blame on her. It was just an issue of circumstance, right? So I'm at the point in the act where I need to go up high to swing, but I'm too low. I'm low to the ground, so I can't swing. So I have to improvise another way to get to the next skill. And then when I need to be low enough to do a certain thing, I'm up too high. So now I have to improvise a way that, where I can't even explain it, but basically the entire act was improvised because when I had to use the ground for help to get a certain place, I couldn't. I had to swing, and that's way different. If I was too high, I needed to, you get it, basically. Everything was in the wrong spot. The whole act, I don't remember it. Also, they made me use a huge mat under the trapeze, whereas I was training this act without a mat, which I understand, but it also did change, because I had some floor work, and then I, in the moment, had to kind of change that because right before the act, they were like, oh no, we need you to use this huge mat. And I was like, well, okay, that's fine. Needless to say, I don't remember much about that performance. I refuse to watch the video. I refuse. Yeah, so I didn't get into that school. I'm editing this video right now. I just want to add in here that originally this school was going to be my very last audition because I had done so many prior to it, and it was the school I wanted the most. I had really high hope. Originally it was the last one. That night that I found out that I didn't get in, which, by the way, just to let you know this, the last day of the audition, it wasn't like they email out an acceptance or denial. No. Actually, they gathered everybody, all of the coaches and all of the students and auditioners in a room and read out the list of everybody who did get accepted. And as you were called, you got up and you left the room. So then by the time the list was finished, you knew you were out, right? And you were just sitting in this room, and then
Yeah, so then everybody knew. Everybody knew. A little bit embarrassing. Anyway, doesn't matter. Basically, that night I had a little bit of a crash out. Not of anger, but of sadness. I didn't know what I was doing. I had nothing. It was a lot. I called my BFF, Sadie. She helps me find some other schools that I can audition to. We ended up finding one school because all of the other schools, the audition period had already passed. They were already having their in-person auditions. This last school, the audition period closed literally the next day. So I emailed the school and I'm like, please let me send in my audition late. I just finished whatever I said. And they were so kind as to let me submit my audition video a little bit late. So I got straight to work on that. Straight to work. Stayed up super late. Flew back to America the next day. Got the rest of it filmed and submitted. Anyway, I just wanted to add that in there because I forgot.
My school in Vermont, I'm telling them I might be back for the 3rd year, but I might not be. And they're expecting this down payment, basically right now. Oh, shouldn't do that. They're expecting the payment for the next year at this moment. It's about June, and I haven't gotten in anywhere, but I have hope. I have 2 more schools that I'm applying for. One of them is in France, one of them is in Italy, and my best friend, Sadie, and she's going to be very happy to hear me mention her name right now. She is in this school in Italy, right? She is just finishing up her 1st year there, and she's like, hey, why don't you come here? It's going to be such a good time. And I'm like, well, you know what? Might as well try. No, it's not like I have many options here, and also, wouldn't that be fun? Imagine moving to Italy with your BFF. Come on now. I sent an audition to the school in France. Also never releasing that video. There's a video audition, and then if they like your video audition, then they'll invite you to the in-person audition. The school in France likes my video. They invite me to the audition. The audition is on the same day as my final show of the 2nd year in the school in Vermont that I've been preparing for months, you know, because I have 2 solo acts in this show and then some group things, so I've been preparing for a really long time. I'm also looking at these flights to France, and for that week it was about, I don't know, like $2,000 if I wanted to get there for the audition. So I emailed the school. I'm like, listen, I cannot swing that price. I cannot swing it because of what? It's summer in France. Everyone's trying to fucking book a flight there. Oh my god. Yeah, so, okay, stop opening your legs. Can't make it. Is there any other way, any other thing I can do? Let me know. And they're like, no, sorry. So then that's off the table. My last option is the school in Italy. I get all that together. Thankfully, they were gracious enough to offer video auditions, so you know, this was stressful because obviously they're going to prioritize the people who come and audition in person over video auditions because, you know, you can only trust so much you see from a video. Like, it could have been someone's best take, but all the other times they can't do the skill. But when you see someone for a full week of auditions, you get to know them as a person. But by some stroke of luck, I got into the school, which was crazy. I was just very grateful to them for accepting me. So yes, I moved to Italy at the drop of a hat about a month later. Had a great year with my best friend. That school is, honestly, that's a story for another day. This school, very, very different from anything I ever knew in so many ways, good and bad. But I am really thankful for my experience there. So I spent a year there, and then I came home to Chicago for the summer. Well, how do I say this? I experienced crazy burnout. I hadn't experienced this in a really long time. Almost never, because circus was always something that I wanted. I was always driven. I was always going out of my way to train. And for the first time, I couldn't make myself do it. I just couldn't bring myself to go to the gym. I couldn't bring myself to get on my trapeze. I couldn't bring myself to do anything, and I was lost, and I kept forcing myself, but it just didn't feel the same. A lot of that was because of this school in Italy, and I'm not blaming them. Well, they're just very cutthroat in their approach to things. In the moment there, obviously I knew what was going on. I knew that I was going through a lot of but I didn't think that it would get this bad to the point where I didn't want to anymore. I don't really know how to describe it in a way because I don't want to defame this place. I think that they taught me a lot. My technique improved bajillion times, you know? But it was because they were forcing me by insulting me to do it every day. All this stuff by yelling at me and telling me how horrible I am. That is the way that I got better. And at that point, it's just not sustainable. So, did I improve? Yes, but at what cost? Right. It was a time of a lot of growth. So I get back to Chicago and I'm experiencing this loss in motivation. It's a stressful thing when you're a circus performer to not be training because honestly, every day counts. Every day that you spend not training is a day you're losing strength, is a day that you're losing, skill, flexibility, all this stuff. That is a lot of pressure. So that whole summer, I basically didn't train, and I knew that when I got back to Italy, I would face hell for it. That summer, I was in a really bad mental state. And I had been in mental states like that before, but never in relation to circus, It was never, I don't know. I ended up delaying coming to Italy for about a month, so I missed a month of school at the beginning of the year. I got to Italy eventually. The program was 2 years long. I had done a year. And my friends there are incredible. My friends there are great. I miss them so much. It's super cool to know people from so many different places across the world. But, it also comes with the hardship of never being able to see them. When is the next time you're going to see someone who lives in Spain, right? When is the next time you're going to see someone from Australia? So I moved back to Italy, and then something changed because I was already going through it in terms of my relationship with trapeze and with circus. It's really hard to have something you love for so long and have so much passion for, and then suddenly, you're like, well, what the fuck happened? I feel like I've lost a part of me. Is it gonna come back? I don't know what to do. I was just feeling really lost. The coaches were cracking down on us harder than ever before. I basically spent every morning delaying getting there, delaying going to school, and wishing that I didn't have to go, and then I would count the whole day, count down the seconds until I could go home on repeat over and over, and I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing right now? But I also didn't want to leave because I was like, this is my life. Circus is my life. This is everything I want. I don't even know what I want anymore. It was just really tough, and I also felt trapped because, well, you don't just go up to these people and tell them you're leaving. So I was kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. I didn't know if I could do 9 more months of this, and I also didn't want to leave. I don't know. There was just a lot, and I can't even really put it into words right now how I was feeling, but eventually I had been there for 2 months, and I was just like, I can't do this. There's no point. And I didn't even know if I wanted to do auditions the next year, go to another school, or work. I don't know. I was just feeling a lot of nothing but everything at the same time. I'm sure somebody understands that feeling. I was calling my mom, and every day I was calling her, and I just didn't know. Oh fuck, my cookie fell in the poo. Oh. I was calling my mom every day. I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know. And she was like, let's buy you a friggin' flight home. We'll figure everything else out. But she knew how unhappy I was. So I have this meeting with my school. Very scary. They made me, because here's another thing. They don't like the English language at this school, okay? If I was ever caught speaking in English, well, I was done for. They expected me to be fluent in Italian after approximately 2 weeks of my first year there. This meeting happened. It went how it went, right? It went how it went. And then I flew to America, leaving my life in Italy behind. Listen, my time in Italy was living in Italy, of course. I was in circus school in Italy. How can I complain? It was an amazing experience to live abroad. It was awesome, and I had so many incredible experiences. I met so many cool people. I got home to Chicago, and I was like, okay, well, I've just uprooted my entire life, okay? My entire life has been circus since COVID, since I was in high school, since I can remember. that's everything I've wanted, and now I'm back in Chicago. All of my friends from Vermont are around the U.S., and nobody's in Chicago. All my friends from the past 2 years, 4 years are, literally around the world. I haven't lived in Chicago since high school. I can't come back here, and I don't have any friends. I don't have a life here. I haven't done anything other than circus in forever. It was kind of a start over from zero, and it was really scary because it's been a really long time since I've been a beginner at something. I didn't have any time for any other hobbies at circus school. It was just training all the time. It was exciting and scary to explore so many things that I had put on the back burner for actually my entire life that I am interested in. So this is things like music and fashion and dance and art. I don't know, like, it was so many things that I love, and I've never gotten to explore. I started them all at the same time. So I, started a fashion design course. I started learning an instrument. I started working on my singing again. Both my parents are singers. And in high school, I was a music major. Yes, my high school had a music major. Yeah, like AP music theory classes and piano classes in high school, and a lot of choir and musical theater stuff. That was something I really loved. But when I went to circus school, I obviously hadn't been practicing in forever, but I grew up and I was in high school and I loved singing, I loved music and learning theory, and so now being able to really focus on it again has been really exciting for me, and is something I've been focusing on more than I ever have before, and it's really, exciting for me. I've been doing guitar for the past year, guitar, drum kit. I'm starting piano up again, and I've been doing voice lessons to strengthen my voice. It's been, because in high school I was singing every day in school. I was in chamber choir, okay? I was singing every day and training my voice every day, but it's obviously been 5 years. So that's been, a process in getting my voice back and remembering what it feels like to sing. It's been hard because I've been lonely, okay? And it's hard to make friends when you're not in school anymore. And I am in a lot of classes across, like, I'm not in a school, I'm in, like, just taking classes around Chicago in different studios, different schools, like, not in any type of structured program. I'm basically making this all up myself. A lot of the people in these classes with me are, in their 50s and 60s, so they're awesome people. I'm so excited to meet so many people from all walks of life and ages and learn with them. It's an honor, but they're not people I'm gonna hang out with outside of class. Probably. It's been interesting, but I've maybe made like 2 or 3 friends since I've been back here, and one of them has already moved away for school again, and there's just not, it's a bit lonely. And so, obviously I started this YouTube channel, which has been really great. And it's super nice to, read so many nice comments from you guys. I really appreciate every single comment that I get, every single like on a video, every single view on a video, subscribe on a video, like, really every single one. I smile ear to ear, and it's been a big help in, feeling this way since I've got back. So yeah, I guess I'm just kind of figuring out my life right now. And the thing is, I don't really have a plan B. If this YouTube thing, music thing, fashion thing, like, all of my passions are artistic, and if it doesn't work out, I don't know what I'll do, because honestly, I don't have a plan B. I just can't see myself doing something that isn't art focused or creativity focused. That's just how it's always been for me. I was never one to be very good in school. I've always had trouble in school. My entire life, focusing is not my strong suit, but when it came to things that I did enjoy, like fucking catch me in physics class, 5th period in high school, nothing. There's nothing there. Next period, music theory, I'm locked the hell in. I get home from school, you could not make me write an essay for the life of me. No, it took me until the last 10 minutes before it was due to start the outline for this essay. But the second I get home, I open my music binder and I write in my little solfege under the songs for choir. I didn't need to do that. That wasn't even an assigned homework. That was just something I wanted to do for funsies. So all that to say is, like, there's nothing for me that isn't art or like fun or creative. And okay, I'm very privileged to be able to say that, and very lucky to be able to explore these real passions of mine. But here I am, really hoping for something. But I'm working hard. I'm really working hard, taking a lot of classes, spending a lot of my time, doing things that I want to improve on. It's been a year of a lot of change. The most change. It's a good thing. I think it is. And obviously my day job, my part-time job is still teaching kids circus. So, it's still near and dear to my heart. I still train here and there once in a while. It's never going to leave me. It's a really big part of who I am, but I don't know. I think I'm going to like it here. So yeah, I didn't expect this video to turn into me sharing my story for the past couple years with you, but there's like a little bit of a glimpse, a little bit of a summary. There's a lot more details in there that I could go into, but I don't want to overwhelm the masses, right? So thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I love you. If you are going through some big changes, if you're trying to figure out your passion in life, if you're going through some mental health struggles, you're not alone. You're really not. You're really, really not. I'm right there with you. Yeah.